Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am doing another knitting project. If you are new here, I'm like a beginner knitter. I've only done one other knitting project that I did in a previous video, which was the Sadie top, a really cute like tank top. I love how it turned out and I'm ready to move on to my next project. Gonna be a little harder, but I'm doing a sweater. I am doing the Sadie sweater. And it's pretty simple looking. I mean, who knows how it's going to be when I actually start, but it looks pretty simple. That's why I chose it. I was like tempted to do other things like V-neck or like color switching, and I was like, no, we just need to keep it simple. So that's where I landed. I have this size 3 yarn, which that is what the pattern calls for. It's a little bit of a different material than what the pattern uses, but I think the drape will still be pretty similar. It's a Lion brand yarn. And it's called Kobu because it's a mixture of cotton and bamboo. So it's pretty soft. I don't know about like how it will, if it will pill or anything, but I got this yarn really cheap when Joann was closing. They were like really picked over and I was trying to find a color that they had like a lot of, and these were like 70% off. So I feel like I got each spool for like $2 or something, and they're 100 grams each. I got 10. And this project calls for 500 grams for my size, so I might have 5 left over if everything goes well and I can use that for something else. First step is to gauge. The pattern calls for 4mm needles and 20 stitches, 30 rows, should be 4 by 4 inches when you are done with the gauge. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm not gonna look at the rest of the pattern because that's just gonna overwhelm me. I'm just gonna really try to get the gauge good. All right guys, it's been a minute. First I did the gauge with the 4mm needles like the pattern said, and it turned out, it was supposed to be 4 by 4 inches and it turned out 5 by 4.5. So I sized, then I was like, okay, do I size down to, because my needle kit actually has a 3.75 and a 3.5, and I feel like most needle kits only have like go down 0.5s, I feel like. So I was planning to go down to 3.5, and then I was like, ooh, should I go down like to 3.75 and see if that's good enough? So I did, and it was not. So this was, let me just, I think this was the 3.5 one. And I mean, overall it looks pretty good, but it still was a little big. It was like 4.5 by 4 or something. Like I think the length was too long. So I redid it in the 3.5mm needle, and it still was like a tiny bit big. It was like 4 and like a quarter or something by 4. So I think we're just gonna go with the 3.5. It feels really tight when I'm knitting with it. Like the yarn is just so tight around the needle. It's a little bit hard to like move things along. So I'm just hopeful that it's not like too tight, but I did block this and it's like stretchy. It has like a pretty drape. Like you can see it has movement to it. There, it doesn't look like it does there, but like here, the drape is good. So, and it's soft. So we're gonna just go with the 3.5 and hope that that's right. I've been seeing like horror videos of people like doing their gauge completely right and their pattern coming out the completely wrong size, so I'm just nervous, but if we need to remake it, we will. That's what we have to tell ourselves. All right, I'm going to try to make sense of this pattern. I did look at it like a tiny bit, and I'm really struggling to figure out like where it starts. There's just like a lot of words. I feel like I'm really used to more like numbers. Like in crochet, it's very much like row 1, row 2, row 3, and it just kind of like, you can tell what's happening. Here it's like broken up into sections and like paragraphs. I don't know, I have to like look at it a little more. There's some diagrams, which is kind of freaking me out. So let me just stay calm, look at that, and then I'm gonna get started. Okay, Okay, update time. I am on my lunch break in my car, and I'm not gonna lie, I cast it on and I kind of locked in, so I made a lot of progress. Doing German short rows for the first time, so here's the progress, and I actually made a lot of progress. I mean, the short rows are kind of, since they start off pretty short and you like add stitches each time, it kind of goes by quick until you get towards the end and you're like doing the whole row. But I am happy with it. I'm hoping that I'm doing everything correctly. I haven't got to like the final short rows where I can make sure that like I have the right stitch count that she has. So I'm just fingers crossed that when I get there, everything is right. I have a few of those left and then we will see. I am back. It's been a few days. I think I last updated you guys on like Tuesday and now it's Saturday. So I've made quite a bit of progress. I finished the German short rows, so this is what it's looking like right now. Everything came out correctly at the end of the German short rows, which I was really shocked. It being my first time doing those and just like my first time looking at this pattern overall, like I just was really surprised that I nailed it. So that's good. I'm hoping that everything is right. And I am now just doing stockinette stitch for like 40 rows. And this is creating the back panel. I'm pretty sure this top cast on edge is the top of the back panel. So I think like if this was my back, it's laying like this, like but higher. And then we're going to be on this edge picking up some stitches for the sleeves. So I think that that's like how it's going to sit. I'm not really sure and I'm nervous. But overall it's going really well. The yarn is seeming to be like really, yeah, it just like looks really good. I haven't made huge mistakes yet, so I'm happy with that. And we're making good progress. I am excited to just do stockinette stitch because then I don't need the pattern and I can just like travel with it to work and stuff. But I am nervous for when I'm done with stockinette stitch because then I have to start picking up the stitches, and it's like it says to pick up the stitches between the, like it uses like the little caret symbol. So I'm assuming it's referring to like the V on the knit side. I don't know. So I'm just like a little bit nervous about that, but we're doing it. And this actually, I think I mentioned it in the intro or somewhere, that this has not really been worked super similarly to the Savai top so far. So yeah, I'm just proud of myself for giving it a shot and figuring it out. I believe it has been about a week since our last update. Here's where we are. I am technically done with this section of the pattern. This is, I believe, the top section of the back. So I am going to break the yarn and put this section on like hold, and then I'm going to be picking up some stitches along the cast on edge for like the sleeves or the shoulders, I guess. I'm not really exactly sure of the layout of it, but yeah, just hoping that that goes well. So I'm going to do that now, and if we can get through that, I will be really excited. All right, I think counting went better than I thought, and I did find a tutorial that literally used the same language as the pattern, so I don't think what she was saying was as confusing as I thought it might be. I think it's just the standard way to say it, but I am just like a little bit, I mean, it's just hard to tell like which stitches you're working in and what, like, especially, I guess I'm not supposed to knit on the cast on edge. Like I'm not picking up that part. I'm picking up the first stitch. So it's just a little weird. And then I need to actually figure out how I'm getting this on.
Have the stitch through the center. Now you're going to knit it. If you hold the yarn.
Lady also said to use a smaller needle. I should probably do that. Okay, here's what it's looking like. I did it one time and then took it all out because I thought I did it wrong, and then I redid it the same exact way. I was getting confused because yeah, there's like the V shapes like this, and then there's the ones that like go kind of like upside down V's, and for whatever reason I didn't realize that just depends on the way you're looking at it at the time, so I kept thinking I needed to go in to the stitch a different way. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I think I got it because I did look at the ones that look like V's. If you get your eye tracking correctly, you can see that, but if you look at it the wrong way, then you can see some that go downward, and I was trying to enter into those, or thought I needed to, but I fixed it. So I think we're good. I did 26, and this is going to be like the left back, like the left shoulder. So we'll see what we need to do now. You guys are witnessing my first mistake. I am almost done with this shoulder piece, neckline piece, and I realized that I picked up 26 stitches, which is the amount of stitches you're supposed to pick up for the small size of the work, and I was supposed to pick up 38 for the large. So I'm going to have to frog that, but I'm happy that it's not, like, we're not starting all the way over. We're just starting over on this piece. So yeah, I think I was just overwhelmed by picking up the stitches correctly that I just read pick up 26, and that's what I did. Alrighty, both of the back panel shoulder pieces are done. And I mentioned earlier that I wasn't sure if I was doing it correctly because it had this like very visible differentiation in the like stitches, but I looked at the pattern, or not the pattern, the pictures again, because I was looking at the pictures and it just didn't look like it had that, but then I realized I was looking at the front. So I looked at the pictures of the back, and the back, it very visibly has that like diagonal split off. So now we're going to attach, like work the front into these stitches so it won't look like that in the front, which all seems correct. I had to redo this one like I mentioned earlier because I can't even remember the reason. Like, I honestly don't remember. I'm sure you guys just saw that part, so I had to redo it. I can't remember why, but I did. And then this one, which is the one I just finished, I ended up having to redo as well because I was following the pattern for this one, and I specifically told myself, like, make sure I'm looking at the right pattern, and I was looking at the one for the right, like, front shoulder, but I just didn't read it closely enough, so I was doing M1L instead of M1Rs, and I was doing them in the wrong spot. So I wasn't making the neckline, I was making, like, this part, like, with the M1Ls, so that's all fixed, but would have been done a lot sooner if I had paid attention to what I was doing. Oh, this one was because I casted on 26 stitches instead of 38 or something. So I didn't make that mistake here, but then I followed the wrong pattern. So very fun. Now I have each piece on its own like cord. So this one's on a cord, this one's on a cord, and this one's on a cord. It's a lot. But we are supposed to now, I think, knit across this one, and then we're going to backwards, I think it's called backwards loop cast on, which I've never done. I've only done the long tail cast on, so new skill time to unlock a new skill. We'll see how that goes, and then we're going to go across after we cast those on in the middle. We're going to go across to this shoulder and connect everything, and then we will have a full neckline, and we'll see. This part's probably going to be pretty exciting because it will actually finally take form into like a top almost, so I'm excited to start this part. I'm pretty proud of myself because when I redid this panel, I only took it down to like the 7th row because the 7th row had no increases in it, and since I messed up only the increase rows because I was increasing the wrong way, I didn't need to redo the first 7 rows, and I took everything out until there, and then I had just like the loose loops, and I fed my needle back through them, and I've never done that before, but like when I drop a loop, I do sometimes find it difficult to get my needle back through, but then I have heard other knitters, like when they frog their work and like restart in a certain area, they act like it's no big deal to like get their needle in or whatever, like doesn't seem to phase them, and it was stressful for me, and it did phase me, so I would be curious to hear if you guys have tips for that, or if it also stresses you out, or if you find it really easy. But yeah, I ended up having to use tweezers and like pull the loops through because they were like slipping back out. So I had to pull them through and then put them on my needle. But all that to say, I'm proud because it actually looks totally fine. I thought that there might end up being like some gaps or anything that I like twisted the wrong way putting it back on the needle, but it looks good. So happy about that. I'm very confused because I thought that the way that I was casting on this whole time for this project and other projects was called the long tail cast on, but I just watched a video of the backward loop cast on. Why do I keep backwards loop cast on? Yeah, and it looks like the same thing. So what's that about? Let me do some Googling, and then if that's what it is, then that's really easy. But yeah, hopefully I find out. If I still don't know, you guys need to let me know in the comments at the end of this video because I'm gonna be confused. Without doing a ton of research, it looks like they're related, but they're not the same thing. Long tail cast on is like you also do something with knitting after you put the stitches on, but I don't think I've done that. I'm not really sure. I should probably watch a video, but basically I think I know how to do the backwards loop cast on. So I'm gonna do that, and maybe I've been doing the long tail wrong in my other ones. I don't know. Guys, it's been a while since I've been able to check in. I am on my lunch break right now at a local forest preserve that I come to, and I finished this section of the front panel that you work like separately, and then I was able to connect the armholes, so now I'm working in the round. And here's about how much I have done. I believe I'm just supposed to do around the body until I get it the length that I want, and then we'll come back and do the sleeves, and then honestly we are done. So this has been a super easy pattern to work, and I was a little worried like I wouldn't like how it looked because it's not like wool, it's really just like a cotton sweater, but I do like the pattern of the stitches and just how simple it looks. It can be honestly like a sweater that you wear that's kind of lightweight, so it's a good transitional piece and a good beginner piece for sure. Pretty is this area that I'm sitting. I was sitting on that bench, but I moved over here to get some sun, and they have these docks that you can go and sit on. And people just moved off of this one, so I might go sit over there, but it's so pretty. I come here on my lunch all the time. Update time. I think last time we checked I was stocking it in the round, and I still am. So not like a super crazy update, but just wanted to show you guys how far we are. Feels like I'm not that much further from the last update, but I swear I am. I'm on kind of short cables, so it's making it look like it's pulling up and making it look pretty tight. But I'm going to try it on so we can just get an idea of where we're hitting in length. Hopefully the cables don't make that too weird. I can always attach an extra. I'm just being lazy. Maybe I should just do that. Just attach an extra just to try it on with, just so we can get a really accurate depiction. And then, yeah, I'm just excited to start working on the sleeves so it can feel like a sweater. If you have not watched my other video, I have another knitting project video where I did the sabai top, which is like literally basically this without, like, there's no sleeves. So it's kind of like a high neck like tank top, and I'm kind of like, I did them both in just like a random yarn that I had, and I'm not bored, but I'm just like, I want to get to the part where it's now going to be a sweater, so I'm not doing the same exact thing I did last time. So just trying to get past this section, and I feel like the sleeves will go pretty quick too. So let me attach my next cable, and then we will try it on. I'm kind of surprised at how much length we have. Obviously, it's still cropped and we have more to go, but I wasn't expecting it to be this long. So we're probably aiming for like about here. Yeah, I would say there to be safe. I do wear very high-waisted pants, and my hips are like the widest point of my body, so whenever I have something that's very long, it just like rests on my hips like tightly, and it doesn't look good. So I try to avoid like going really past there, because if I go down, it just, yeah, it's weird. So probably, how much is that? Like another hand's worth. So probably like another week for me. That's kind of how long that takes right now. But obviously I'm working full time and I have minimal time to knit. So hopefully just like another week. It is early October and I want to finish this while it's still not too cold out, because this is a cotton bamboo, so it's not like super warm, but it will be a cute lightweight fall sweater. And the feel of it, it's very soft, so I love it. This honestly might be my first time like trying it on. I tried it on a few times, like once I connected the sleeves, but I had like another shirt underneath and stuff. This is like my first time seeing it kind of by itself, and it's looking cute. Guys, I'm at my knitting spot and I just noticed this little tiny dock right there, and I want to go sit on it. This one is covered in like some weird black gook. They've always been covered in geese poop too, but all the chairs on this one are covered in like black gook, so I'm wondering if I can sit on that, and if it's cleaner. It looks kind of clean, and everything is wet, but the wood kind of absorbed the water, so I'm sitting on these wood benches and they're okay. But I'm gonna try to go over there and see. Might be cozy. This is a very cozy spot I just found here. I am really excited to come here every day on my lunch break. If I didn't mention it earlier in the video, I work at a chiropractor's office, and we kind of have weird hours where we work, like we're closed in the middle of the day because most people go to the chiropractor like before and after work. So we have like a chunk of time on our long days where we are closed. And so I have like a 2-hour lunch break on those days. We work really long days, like early in the morning and then late in the evening, to kind of offset that. So today's Wednesday, our long days are Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and on those days we work like 7 to 6:30 or 7, so it's basically a 12-hour day, but we're closed from 12 to 2. So I don't know if you guys saw that, but I just lost my stitch marker. And I don't have my bag with me with new stitch markers. I don't really think I need it, but it is kind of nice to count the rows. I'm not like counting, but I'm just like later when I'm like, oh, maybe I need to do like 5 more rows till the end, I guess I'd want to know. But I guess I can just put a new stitch marker in at that time. Okay, we're going on without it. What was I saying? Oh, we're closed from 12 to 2. So I usually eat at the office. I'll like heat up my food, and then I do anything from like running errands to going for walks to like going to get coffee with my coworkers or lunch with my coworkers, stuff like that. But it's been so nice to like get out in the fall. I worked there also last year for the fall, and we just have this really pretty nature preserve near us with this marsh that we're sitting by. You can't really see the marsh, but I think I got some clips to show you, and it's just a nice little getaway. So I love that. But almost done with the body. I think my last update, I was almost done with the body too, but I'm even closer. I probably have like 5 rows left, honestly, like I just said. But I actually did some at work today because our Wi-Fi was out. So really there was nothing. I work like front desk admin. There was nothing that I could do that was like getting stuff done. I like enter all of our patients' information and plans and everything, and then I do all of the accounts stuff. So yeah, I just really needed Wi-Fi, but obviously I still kept track of things that patients needed on like a paper list, and like we'll need to catch up on that later. But at one point I was like, so like my counterpart, the other girl that works at the front desk with me, was just pacing around and like, I don't know what to do. And I was like, honestly, I think I'm just gonna stop trying to like be productive because there's nothing we can do, and I'm just gonna knit. And I did, and I got quite a bit done. Still was able to talk to patients, and honestly it was like a conversation starter because a lot of them would be like, oh my gosh, do you knit? That's so fun, like so and so I know knits or whatever. So it was cute. My worst nightmare just happened to me, and I don't know, I'm a new knitter, so I don't know if this is not that big of a deal to experienced knitters, but I was trying on the sweater, and this was like a necessary try on because this was like, I might be done and I need to see how close I am. Like, I can't keep knitting because I feel like I'm done. So I was trying it on, and my cords are pretty tight around my chest circumference because that's just the way it has happened. But that's what's like comfortable, because the sweater doesn't have that much positive ease. So if the sweater is pretty close to what my chest circumference is, then the ideal cords to work on would probably be pretty close to my chest circumference. But that means when I try it on and off, it's a little bit like tight, like the cords are. So I have these little stoppers on my needles, and that has been great thus far. But I guess like the further I got down, like because it's now really long, the harder it is to get off because there's obviously more fabric that you're trying to like pull over your head, and it's like tighter to your body because it's like further down. So I pulled on the sweater kind of just like I usually do to get it off gently, and the stopper came off and I dropped like 10 stitches or something. And I was like, okay, I can fix this, like don't panic. But it was on my body, so I'm trying to fix it while it's on my body, and it's just like getting caught. And also I had one arm already kind of like out through the armhole, so I had to like get my arm back in or out completely so I could fix the stitches. And then as I was fixing those, I was like, I cannot get these like on while I have the sweater on. So I took the sweater off without dropping more stitches, and I was like, wow, that was crazy. And then as soon as I sat down to fix those stitches, I dropped stitches off of the left needle, and I was just like, oh my god, like it was happening so fast, and I was panicking for sure. So I did get them fixed. I had to like redo a bunch of the like dropped stitches, and I didn't watch a video. I've redone some drop stitches in my other, like, you know, the first half of this sweater and my other sabai top, but I just was never really been sure if I've done it right because I'm only dropped like one or two, so I'm like, oh, like, you never know if you can see it, and I do have some mistakes throughout, so I'm like, maybe that's just the way I'm picking up the drop stitches. But since this was like a whole area, I was like, this might be completely wrong, but honestly, I can't even tell where it was at, so I think I did pretty good. But a little anxiety for the day. Now, I am done with, well, I'm not done with the body, but I just put on a longer cord to try it on because I've learned my lesson, and I think we're done with the body, but we're going to try it on and see. Here's what it's looking like lengthwise. I feel like we're pretty good. I considered going a little longer, but I feel like after blocking, it'll just be like a tiny bit longer, and I don't like anything that hits like below here, honestly. Like this is where my hips are, and I just feel like it ends up looking weird. So I feel like it will be good. The drape is really nice. It's pretty loose. I feel like it fits really well. And yeah, I don't want it to look too baggy if I go too long. So I think I'm gonna leave it there, bind off, and start the sleeves. This is my second skein of yarn, so it took like 1.5 to do the body, which is way better than I thought. I could make like 10 sweaters with the amount of this yarn that I have, so we're gonna have to find some other projects to do with this yarn. It is early and I have not spoken yet, I don't think. I wanted to say sleeve progress on the left sleeve. I was a little concerned when I started it because it's pretty indented at the seam. I don't know if that's like what the different reasons that could be are. I was wondering if maybe I entered the stitch in like the wrong area when I was picking up stitches, but first I looked at the pattern pictures and hers doesn't look very indented, but hers is also a darker blue. So I feel like dark shadows like this don't show up as much in those colorways. Then I looked at a Reddit thread, and the Reddit thread, everyone kind of gaslighted the girl and was like, what are you talking about? I don't see anything, and like, just block it. And she was like, I did. And just people were like, oh, looks like this has been resolved, like you just need to block it. And I was like, what is going on? Why are so many people gaslighting this girl? But hers looked exactly like mine, and I don't know, it doesn't look bad. Like, I think once it's on and the sleeves are finished and everything, like it'll be fine, but it's just a little weird right now. I'm genuinely not sure. Here's it up close. It just looks kind of indented when you're like further away. I'm hoping that it goes away with blocking since so many people in the Reddit thread said blocking, but we'll see. I was convinced like something was wrong with it, so I was gonna frog it and redo it, but once I saw, I watched a few YouTube videos and I purposefully looked at people's like sleeves, and a lot of them were like that. So I was just expecting the seam to be a little bit more like this one where I connected the panels. So I don't know why it's not, but I'm just gonna keep going. It's kind of annoying because I was gonna try like something different on this one and see if it works, but I don't want to have 2 sleeves going at once, but I also don't want to finish this one, try this one, and then have this one be perfect. So I don't know, we're just gonna keep going. I did have to frog the sleeve, I think twice already. So I'm tired of crouching or whatever that was that I was just doing. So I don't want to frog it again, but the first time I got the stitch counts wrong. You have to divide this into like 3 quadrants, and three sections, and each section should have 28 stitches in it, but you're like going in a circle, so how do you plan how many stitches? Like, I did it and then there was like a bunch of stitches left at the end that I didn't pick up, and you're supposed to pick up the entire circle, so messed that up, but kind of figured it out. Still a little bit confused. Hope it works for the second sleeve, we'll see. And then the other one was, I picked up stitches on the wrong side of the work. So because it's like a hole and you can see both sides, I didn't realize I was like kind of picking them up in the purl side. So when I started knitting and purling, they were opposite than the sweater. So that was sad, but we are on the path now and it should go quick with the sleeve. I've like already done like 11 rounds and it has not been nearly as long as that would have taken in the body. So I am happy. Also, I don't think I showed you guys after I binded off the body, like the length. I think it's perfect. And I love the amount of positive ease. Like, it's just loose enough, but not too loose. When I block it, it'll have even more drape, and it won't be, I just hate long sweaters, long and thin. That's what you get when you get store-bought. So we're going boxy and cropped right at the hips. Okay, I am going to keep working. I have a lot to do today. My mom is coming into town this weekend, so maybe not that much knitting time this weekend, but we'll see. Hi guys, I have not got a chance to check in with you since I started the second sleeve, but I have finished the second sleeve, and I just feel like every time I've been working on this, I've been like in a rush, or I've been just like in an area where I can't film, just like something weird. So that's kind of why I haven't been able to check in, but I'll show you kind of what it's looking like. Let me just put my stoppers on. My knitting stuff is a little chaotic right now. That's not. I am on my lunch break in my car. It's a little chilly to be outside. I have a coat, but I walked to the spot without my coat, and then I was like, well, I'm not gonna walk all the way back with my coat, and it just is super windy, so even with my coat, I still felt like I was just gonna be cold. It's really sunny, so I just sat in my car with like the windows down, which is funny because it's cold, but it's like the sun is so warm that if you're in the sun, you feel really warm, and I just like rolled my windows down a little bit so I could get the best of both worlds. But anyway, I'm working on the collar right now since I finished the second sleeve, so I'm super excited. Let me see. I think now that I'm working on the collar, I don't have like my typical landmarks of what's the front and what's the back, and both sleeves are done. So I know this isn't the best view because I'm in my car and I'm on my phone camera, so you're not gonna be able to really get a good shot. I don't even know why I'm trying to show you, but basically both sleeves are done. The ends are not weaved in, and it is looking like a little raggedy, I feel like. I mean, obviously this is my first sweater and I chose a really simple pattern and a really simple yarn, but I feel like the combination of the fact that it's so simple and the yarn is so simple and the color is like kind of bland, we're feeling a little bit like homemade, but that's okay. This was a practice sweater and I'm still gonna wear it. It's really cute for like, I feel like it's good for like a summer sweater that you could throw on because it's cotton and it's very like lightweight feeling and it's kind of cropped, so that's the vibe I'm getting. And yeah, I honestly have 2 more rows of the collar and then I'm done. I just have to bind off and like weave in the ends and block it. So that's where we're at. I wanted to catch up with you guys though, because there have been some things I was like, oh, I should chat with you guys about, and one of them was, can we just talk about knitting sleeves for a moment here, because I have this. So I ordered a smaller cord, because what is knitting sleeves with a large cord? Like literally, I don't know what size mine is because mine came in a kit, but it's the smallest one in the kit, and it still was like the stitches were being stretched and it was just so hard to work with. Like I was just not a fan. So I ordered a smaller one, but since I wasn't sure if they start measuring from the silver connection or from like the red or like colored part of the cord, my cord was between like 6 and 9 inches, and this, no, it was like maybe 9 and 11 or something. This cord I ordered was 6 inches, and I was like, okay, like it'll at least be smaller, it should be fine. Way too small, way too small. Like it probably would have been fine for like the actual sleeve stitches would have been fine, but the needles, like you couldn't even get them because they're long. You couldn't even get them at the right angle to enter the stitch because they didn't have enough room to like move on the cord, if that makes sense. So definitely looking for tips and size recommendations for knitting sleeves. I will definitely need to order something next time. It was mostly fine, but my sleeves are pretty baggy for this. No, I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish. I have more yarn at home, so don't panic, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish in the car, which is sad because I have 15 minutes before work and I'm so close. That is a bummer. But yeah, let me know your recommendations for cord lengths for knitting sleeves. I have definitely heard of getting some of the smaller, like shorter needles, which would also work. I just don't want to like order that, like a new kit, and I don't want to order just one needle size because I want to be able to do it in the future with other sizes. So I'm looking more for a cord length, I think, so that I can get a cord that then I can put different needles, like any size needle on. But let me know. And then the other thing is just like, recommendations for like how to make friends that have the same hobbies as you. I am in the Chicagoland area, so I have Chicago as like a resource because there's a lot of creators and groups and stuff, but I just like can't find anything that's exactly what I'm looking for. I really want friends that I can vlog with. I want friends that I can knit with. Like, I want like-minded people, and I have great coworkers and great other friends, but yeah, I'm just trying to get into it. So I've been looking at some local like social knitting and stuff, and I might go to one like later in November, but I just thought maybe you guys had some ideas, maybe you guys have some experiences. If you know of any local Chicagoland area knitters or vloggers that you feel like would be looking for new friendships, tag them in my comments or like let me know their handles so I can reach out to them, because I want like-minded friends. I feel like I'm always looking for people that are like-minded, and I have a really hard time finding that. Like, it would be so amazing if I had like a group of girlfriends that like had similar hobbies as me. And honestly, it doesn't even have to be the same hobbies, but like have hobbies. I feel like a lot of my friends are like socializing is their hobby, going out is their hobby, like traveling. I don't really have the funds to travel. So I need like a group of friends who wants to take a workout class with me and then go get coffee after, and wants to go to brunch and wants to knit, and like life would be amazing. All right, here's how much I have left. Definitely not finishing, which is tragic, but this is the beginning of the round. We're almost there, and then I have one round left. So I just binded off the collar. Here's what that looks like. I went a little longer than what it said in the pattern to do. I think I went 2 or 3 rows longer. I don't know why. Halfway through I was like, oh my gosh, how many have I done? But I know that I did at least 2 rows, and I did decreases in those 2 rows because I didn't want the collar to just like shoot straight up and like curl out. I just wanted it to be a little bit tighter to my neck, which I love. It's just so close to being like a little mock neck, which I think is cute. We are going to block. I'm hoping for quite a bit of growth, especially for the sleeves, because I don't know, they feel like they've shrunk. I feel like this one over here is like shorter than this one, but I think it's just the way it moves, and I'm hoping they'll come down to at least like right over my hand. And then this is a fine length for the type of pants I usually wear, but final reveal time. It actually blocked out really nicely. I was really worried about the sleeves after my last clip because I googled like how long to block like cotton and bamboo, just kind of trying to get a feel, and it literally said that bamboo and cotton like won't grow at all, which I didn't know or have never heard. So I was like, oh my gosh, I like stopped knitting like far up on the hands. Like in the last clip they were like at my wrist, they were like up to here. So then I got really nervous and I was like, am I gonna have to like take out the sleeves and like make them longer? But look, and I didn't like stretch it or anything. I didn't try to do anything crazy because it also said that bamboo can like really stretch out if you like pull it, kind of like alpaca. So I didn't pull on it or anything, and it just worked out. So nice and cute. It is cropped and I feel like it sits nicely. And I wore it today to Woolen Company and got more yarn for 2 future sweaters. So stay tuned. I am obsessed with this. I do feel like my neckline came out a lot different than hers, but I did it a few more rows. But I don't know, hers is like curled and it feels like it's a bit more tighter. So I'm not sure like if something is off there, but none of my stitch counts were off or anything at all throughout the pattern. So I don't know, but I don't even mind it. I don't. Look how cute. Here's the back. And I feel like it has a good amount. I was really worried about the sleeves being too big, but they're fine. So, love it. And stay tuned for more knitting videos because we're just getting started. Okay, bye guys. Thanks for watching.